I was in the gym yesterday, and I told you a million times, when I'm in the gym, I want to get in and get out as quickly as possible. An efficient workout. The first thing I'm kind of spotting, I want that workout to be about 20 minutes, which if I do that 5 or 6 times a week is an hour 40, 2 hours. It's on top of my building. So I'm walking and I'm looking immediately for where I can do my core, which is hanging leg raises. So there's kind of one bar in the gym. That's next to a bench. It's kind of in an area where all the weights are. And there's just 3 of us in the gym, but it's quite a small gym. It's for the residents of the building, and it's on top of the building, so it's easy to get to. It's kind of like, no, for me, there's no excuse. But there's a couple of girls there, and so I'm always a little bit hesitant, especially with girls in the gym, because they kind of get obviously a bad time from guys, etc. But I kind of go over and politely ask if they're using the bar, and they're not, and then they kind of move to one side and they're doing something on the bench, and I'm using the bar, so I kind of help overhear this conversation. And it's quite clear that there's one of the girls is a personal trainer, and the other girl has recently, I think that might even be the first session that she's just signed up for a course, or whatever, however it is, and it's full of personal trainers here. Everybody here is trying to make the best version of themselves, which is really great to be around. And if she's pulled the trigger, if she's kind of pushed the button or whatever, and actually signed up for a course and said, you know what, I want to be in better shape, that's brilliant. This girl was probably about 10 to 20 kilos overweight. So she knows she needed to take action, but she'd taken action. And for me, that's really inspiring. It's really inspiring when somebody's kind of, things have got out of control for whatever reason. I don't know the backstory, anything can have happened. She might have just had a kid or whatever, yeah? But something's got out of control and you take action, and then you mean business, and you've got to turn that initial motivation into repetition, into habit, into discipline, right? And it's the discipline that counts. So I'm kind of overhearing this conversation. They've got a test tomorrow, which perfect for a personal trainer. Test at the very start, see what you're kind of working with, and then be able to show results over the week. I would guess that that's the natural thing to do with a personal trainer. It's certainly what you would do in the running world. In an elite level, you want to see where your starting point is and how you progress, what works and what doesn't work over the weeks. Yeah, so brilliant, massive tick in the box. And then she's going through the exercises, she's showing her how to do the exercises. Again, brilliant, because everything's about form and technique. It's not about weight. That was perfect. But I couldn't help but notice the questions that the girl was asking the personal trainer. And she was asking about, what should I be, is collagen good? Should I be having collagen? I'm thinking of buying collagen. What vitamins should I be having? How much water should I be drinking in a session? Not such a crazy question, how much water I should be drinking, but lots of questions that were kind of like the kind of 1% that you try to achieve once you've kind of mastered everything else. So for me, when you kind of get somebody who's, again, I don't know the backstory. She might have been world champion in something else in the past, but it didn't sound like it. It sounded like she wanted as much knowledge as possible from this personal trainer, and therefore she was asking a lot of questions. Again, great thing, asking a lot of questions, not just kind of like going into the dark. But it's so funny, because these are the sorts of questions that I get on Instagram, I get in YouTube, I get on Facebook, whatever. It's like, it's all the stuff that we're talking about, the marginal gain stuff right at the end. First of all, you've got to do the work. You've got to have the consistency, and you've got to know what you're doing. So for her, it's all about the exercises that she's doing. It's all about the cycles. It's all about kind of what are you doing? How many times a week are you training? How long do these sessions take? When during the day are you training? Ideally first thing in the morning. How long can that session take? let it take us the least amount of time as possible. So it's not a big deal for you to say, okay, I've got to go, if you've got to go after work, whatever, I've got to go from work to that, and it's going to take this amount of time, then I can get on with my life. It's not a big deal to push that into your daily routine. That's the point, yeah? So focus on the big thing first. Focus on getting that initial motivation and drive into repetition, into daily habit, into discipline, yeah? And it's the discipline. It's very, very easy to be motivated. Gyms are packed. Gyms would not exist if it wasn't for those people who sign up in January for the full 12 months and go and don't go from February onwards. Gyms wouldn't exist. Gyms wouldn't exist if everybody that signed up actually turned up at the same time or turned up on the same day. Gyms wouldn't exist. It wouldn't be able to handle that capacity. So gyms, and I know this because I know a lot of people in kind of chains and things like that. Gyms exist because of those people that sign up and don't go. So it's not about the small things. It's not about collagen. It's not about protein powder. It's not about supplements. It's not about vitamins. It is about water. It is about hydration. It is about diet. It is about getting the right amount of smaller meals, like 6 times a day rather than 3 big meals as we've been traditionally told. It is about when you eat. It is about what you eat. And that's a different discussion, or it's kind of a discussion outside the gym afterwards. But focus on the fundamentals first. Focus on getting the exercises right, being in the gym for the right amount of time, and making sure that you've got, like, maybe you're doing, if you're trying to kind of overall improve your physique, maybe you're getting the right amount of running and cycling and maybe cross train, whatever it is you're doing, in order to burn fat, together with when to do that, together with weights. And you're getting the kind of the back and biceps, the chest and triceps, the shoulders and legs on the different days, and how to kind of give the muscles enough recovery time in order to move forward. It's as simple as that. So when you're first getting into stuff, it gets really exciting because you're kind of researching, and that person's obviously gone to college, etc., etc. Whereas focus on the basics first. Focus on factoring that into your life. And later on, you can start to worry about smaller things like collagen, whether you're kind of low on iron, whether you kind of need to add a cod liver oil or something like that, whether you kind of need to, whether you're not getting enough vitamin D, whether you need to kind of add that, which is obviously, it depends on where you are in the world, etc., but it kind of gets a little bit complicated. So you maybe do need to ask a specialist if you've not got information to hand. But yeah, it's brilliant. That person's pulled the trigger. She's got a personal trainer. But there's no need to be digging into the finer details like right now. Just get into it, get working out, and get to know the exercises very quickly, and get doing like we'll say about anything, get doing the reps. And then once you kind of get to 50 reps and then 100 reps, and it's kind of inserted into your schedule, it's part of your daily routine, nothing else is happening because you're looking forward to it as well. You're starting to enjoy it. You've built community, you've built friends around the gym, and they're all having a positive influence. They're not trying to talk you into going out on a Friday night to drink. They're not trying to talk you into kind of a weekend away in Ibiza or whatever. Not such a bad thing, but in terms of fitness journey, they're kind of having a positive influence on life. Maybe they want to go for a walk on a night, to have that low kind of intensity walking fitness training in order to kind of keep a low heart rate but have a chat at the same time. So it's always a positive influence, and then you can start to exchange stories. Don't just take opinions. Make sure you kind of get the advice of an expert.